Saturday in South Carolina, where the feel-good factor is radiating around Columbia. The Gamecocks have won 4 straight SEC games, and Shane Beamer's team is one of the hottest in the country. Kickoff is next. We welcome you inside Williams-Brice Stadium as the South Carolina Gamecocks look to make it 5 straight wins. Taking care of business on Senior Day would be required to keep this winning streak alive. They've got the Wofford Terriers out of the SoCon. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us alongside Rocky Boyman. I'm Jay Alter. This South Carolina team playing really good football, Rocky, in the month of November in particular. They are on an impressive run.
4 straight SEC wins, 3 of those ranked wins. I'm not sure there's any team in the SEC right now that would be dying to play South Carolina because they are absolutely on fire. And Jay, a big reason they're playing so well right now is their quarterback, Lenore Sellers, is absolutely playing the best football of his college career right now. Early in his career, early this season, having some trouble with the turnovers, but I mean, last week against Missouri was lights out. 5 touchdown passes in many, many different ways. I mean, his development as a young player, big, tall, strong guy, his development has really sparked this South Carolina team.
So this is going to be a mountain to climb for Wofford. They'll have to rely heavily on their defense.
Yeah, and that's a strong part of their team. A lot of seniors, a lot of older guys with experience on that unit. 76 tackles for loss, 19 takeaways. They've really kind of carried the load as this offense for Wofford has been figuring itself out.
South Carolina won the toss, deferred. Wofford ready to receive. And we get Sandstorm for the final time at Williams-Brice Stadium in 2024. Final home game of the season for South Carolina. Trying to make it 5 straight wins and trying to stay one of the hottest teams in all of college football. The committee that'll determine the top 12 teams in that college football playoff has South Carolina at 18. It's a slim possibility, but if they can handle their business and there's chaos elsewhere, we just saw Ole Miss go down to Florida, anything can happen, but it requires taking care of business.
So you're telling me there's a chance, right? And I mean, yeah, with what's happened today with Ole Miss going down, you just never know how this thing's going to shake out. But talking with that man right there yesterday, he really believes in this team and is saying, hey, let's just put our best foot forward and see what happens.
Amari Odom, the starting quarterback for Wofford. We get our first look at the Terriers offense, throwing on first down, quick strike, and a first down for the Terriers. Off to the races. Kyle Watkins inside the 20, finally chased down. What a start for Wofford. A monster gain of 63 on the first play of the game.
And Jay, this is just a, let's shoot a bubble screen out. Let's get our quarterback comfortable. Maybe we'll get 3 or 5 yards. And Kyle Watkins almost takes this thing the distance. He's their most explosive wide receiver and does what you're supposed to do out there. Take a short pass and break some tackles and take it for a long one.
How about the Gamecock safety, Nick Emanwari, who saved a touchdown there? Can the Gamecocks bow up in the red zone and prevent an opening drive touchdown? Wofford running it on first down. That's Ryan Ingram, 5th-year senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
And this Wofford offense, Jay, they're a younger unit, right? A lot of underclassmen, younger guys, and talking with Sean Watson, he's really just trying to get that offense click, and it just hasn't happened as much as they would like to this year.
You couldn't have asked for a better start. First play of the game, 63 yards. Now can Amari Odom in this offense find a way to punch it in and apply some early pressure on a South Carolina team that has won 4 straight SEC games, 3 of those against ranked teams. J.T. Smith Jr., not much going.
And this is a tough South Carolina front to run against. Tonka Hemingway right there playing with a big club on his hand. I mean, this is a real live SEC defense. Big up front, fast on the back end. They're looking to come up with a big stop here after giving up a big play to open this game.
A 3rd and 7 inside the 10. Play clock under 5. Odom surveys, in trouble, flush left, hot pursuit. He lost the football. Dylan Stewart, the freshman, all over Odom, forced the football out. Who's on the bottom of this pile? Still waiting for the officials to make a signal here. This is a long scrum, and finally they say Wofford ball, and that's big for the Terriers because at least now you can attempt a field goal.
Yeah, a drive has started so well, and this has been Amari Odom's kind of his bugaboo all year, as he's been a little bit careless with the football, forcing the ball in the windows where it's not there.
Start on my signal.
And right there, just not securing that thing and allowing South Carolina to pop it out.
And Wofford without their starting field goal kicker, Bridger Jones. So it's Devery Cagill, the sophomore, attempting to open the scoring from 27 yards away, trying to capitalize on that 63-yard bubble screen, first play of the game. Cagill puts it right through. And Wofford opens the scoring, a 3-0 lead. Trying to shock the SEC. South Carolina will have their first drive of the game when we come back. Wofford, an early strike, 3-0 lead for the Terriers, just getting started here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Final home game of the season for South Carolina. The Gamecocks up to number 18 in the rankings. And Shane Beamer's team, those 3 ranked wins all in November. You just make the case that they are playing the best football right now, not just in the SEC, but across the country. But you can't overlook an FCS opponent. And I know they got Clemson on the road next week. Juju McDowell on the return. He takes it from the 10. Good return to the 35-yard line. Let's check in with our 3rd member of the crew down on the sideline with Ashley Strohline.
Hey, Jay and Rocky. Well, Shane Beamer told me that he hasn't really been talking to his team about the specifics beyond the regular season, just that something in the postseason does exist for South Carolina, whether that's a bowl game or the Gamecocks finding a way to get into the college football playoff after their late season surge. Beamer said he feels the key with these final 2 games is for his team to be exactly who they say they are. He said we can't look like a fraud in either of these final 2 regular season games. He said our goal is to win out, and if they do just that, he believes that they've made a strong statement to the committee as to why they should take a really good look at why they belong in the college football playoff. He said the key today is to play winning football despite being up against an FCS team. He says it can't be sloppy, it's got to be flawless. Obviously not happy with how this one started.
Yeah, it's all about November, how you play. Are you playing your best football in November? And right now South Carolina is, but they certainly cannot overlook Wofford here.
Now there was a holding call on the return by McDowell, so instead of starting the drive from the 35-yard line, they had to start it from the 11. We get a look at Lenora Sellers. How good was he a week ago against Missouri? Those 5 passing touchdowns. They keep it on the ground. Rocket Sanders couldn't quite break that tackle and turn the corner. Good pursuit. Damian Curtis, the senior cornerback, makes a stop.
Yeah, this Wofford defense has been consistently good all year. A couple really good linebackers. I think they got a couple really good corners as well that are going to be tested by these South Carolina wide receivers.
Sellers on a 3rd and 5. Good protection, steps up, and it's intercepted. What a start for Wofford. Amir Anor read that ball beautifully, and the Terriers take over.
What I tell you about these corners, these are some legit FCS corners. And this ball for Lenora Sellers on this corner route, it just hangs in the air a little bit too long. You're trying to fit that thing on a lower trajectory so the corner can't get over and pick it off. But Amir Anor with an excellent job playing that ball in the air.
Wow.
And this is absolutely not the way Shane Beamer wanted to start this game off.
Wofford gets the 63-yard strike on the first play of the game, settles for a field goal, and now an interception in Gamecock territory. So they start the drive from the South Carolina 39-yard line. Now, this is a Terriers team that had played pretty well themselves in November until last week when they lost to the Citadel. Had they won that game, they'd be coming in on a 3-game win streak of their own.
Yeah, and that was a tough loss against the Citadel. I mean, Coach Watson told us we kind of overanalyze things, maybe overcoach that game a little bit instead of letting our guys play. But they want to come out here today in their final game and put their best foot forward.
Yeah, they're letting it rip. Odom, a low throw. That pass is incomplete.
And for South Carolina, yeah, look, it's just the age-old story of you can't let a team that, you know, on paper you should beat, let them hang around, and then the longer you do, the tighter you get. And you need to take a deep breath and get a stop here and get that ball back to your offense.
Third and 8 upcoming. Odom, pressure coming. Rolls left, throws on the run, across his body, and that pass falls incomplete. Tried to squeeze it into Kyle Watkins and just was off balance when he released that football.
And that's twice on third down that South Carolina's found a way to flush Odom away from his throwing arm. And they haven't blitzed yet, just being able to get there with 4, which keeps 7 into coverage, and it's a good job.
The play clock ticking down to 15 seconds here, and Sean Watson hasn't sent his punt unit or his offense back out onto the field, so he's going to have to take a timeout here. Second season as head coach of the Terriers.
And I think Sean Watson was going to go for this thing, but he wanted to pick up a couple yards on third down and make a manageable fourth down decision, but
so he actually decided to take the delay of game penalty.
Oh, wow.
And give his punter, Sam Spence, 5 extra yards to try and pin South Carolina deep. Jalen Kilgore awaits this punt from Sam Spence, calls for the fair catch. And South Carolina will take over at the 10-yard line. Let's see how the redshirt freshman quarterback Lenora Sellers could shake off that opening drive interception.
There's no question about the talent level of Lenora Sellers. Big, 6'3", 242, supremely talented kid who, and Coach Dow Loggins, the offensive coordinator, told us yesterday, you know, it's just like as a freshman, everything you do, it's the first time you're doing it. So you got to learn from your experiences, but one of those things any good quarterback must do, Jay, is be willing to shake things off and look past mistakes. Let's see how he does here.
Quarterback keeper after the fake to Rocket Sanders. A flag flies in after the gain of 5.
Holding, offense number 53, half the distance to goal, repeat first down.
And Shane Beamer in South Carolina are looking around for the reset button. Can we kind of restart this thing? This is not the way they had hoped and what they had talked about yesterday about wanting to put their best foot forward and play clean football.
A very frustrating first 5 minutes for South Carolina here at home. Sellers, a jump pass from his own end zone. Finds Mazio Bennett, the freshman wide receiver.
And Lenora Sellers, as I watch, I think he's a better extender than he is runner. He just has a real knack for being able to extend the play till a receiver gets open. Here it is right here.
Dancing around that pocket, checks it down to Rocket Sanders.
Well, it is clear defensively. Wofford is telling themselves nothing behind our heads, nothing, and we're going to keep it all in front of us. And let's see if the young freshman quarterback can just dink and dunk down the field. See if he can take 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards all the way down the field here. We're going to see if he has the patience and the poise to do that.
Yeah, the last third down is when Sellers threw his interception on that opening drive, this time into the safe hands of Luke Doty. That'll be very close, and they give him 5 yards. First down, South Carolina. Big third down conversion there.
And there was a great effort, Jay, by Luke Doty. He caught that ball about a yard or two short of the sticks, but he was able to hold that thing out, cross the line as he was going out of bounds. That's a huge pickup there.
A veteran wide receiver, South Carolina native in his 5th season for the Gamecocks at a 1st and 10. Here's Rocket Sanders. He's upended, falling forward for a gain of 1. He has been Mr. Reliable out of the backfield this season for South Carolina.
And Coach told us yesterday, he just adds that toughness to the team, right? He carries the load. He'll get a lot of carries in the course of a game, but he has always been productive.
He gets another one here, tackled straight away. Great pursuit of the football. John Boyles, Wofford linebacker. He's reading it really well in this opening quarter.
You're seeing this veteran group on defense, and what they're doing, Jay, is they're finding ways to penetrate. This South Carolina offensive line needs to stay on those double teams and start pushing some terrors off the line of scrimmage.
A 3rd and long after 2 unsuccessful rushing attempts. Play action. Sellers decides to tuck and run. Can he get to the first down? Yes, sir. Lenora Sellers picks up 10 on a 3rd and 9 with his feet.
And that's one of the best things Dow Loggins told us yesterday. He says his legs allow him to learn. In other words, as he's learning this position, he has the ability to do that, which keeps him out on the football field so he can learn. And what a dangerous weapon. Well covered on the back end by Wofford, but Sellers makes a great play.
Sellers keeps it again, bounces it outside, shoved out of bounds. A gain of 2.
Sellers, his ability in the pocket all year, especially last week, to just shake off defenders. I mean, there was a couple times free blitzers are coming in and should have him dead to rights. He just has that strength and the footwork to be able to shake him off and complete a pass.
Throwing on 2nd and 8, drops it right in. It's caught at the 50. Peyton Mangrum, that's just his 3rd reception of the season. It's a big one, gain of 16.
Yeah, this is the route he threw the interception on earlier, a corner route. This one had a little bit lower trajectory and was able to get there before the corner Manat could get there as well and break it up.
The longest play of the afternoon for this South Carolina offense sets up a 1st and 10 from the 50.
Come on, baby.
Sellers pulls it out again. The right decision, fires it to Campbell. Off to the races. Touchdown, South Carolina. And a late flag is thrown.
Field, offense number 53.
Wow.
5-yard penalty, previous spot. Big first down.
So they say the center, Vershawn Lee, was the illegal man downfield. That was a late flag. Dale Von Campbell was dancing in the end zone. Everybody here at Williams-Brice Stadium thought it was a South Carolina 50-yard touchdown and negated by the penalty.
And in college football, Jay, you get 3 yards as an offensive lineman, and yeah, he's about at 5. You see him in the middle of the screen there. I'm a defensive guy, right? So I'm always screaming for this to get called. Usually it's never called, but when you're 5-6 yards down the field, it's very easy for the officials to see it.
Oscar Attaway, his first carry of the game. Rocky, to play devil's advocate, that is away from the play, doesn't affect the play at all.
I agree.
You just wonder, is that an antiquated rule?
Well, I'm certainly in favor of if a penalty affects the play, it should be called. If it's way on the other side of the field, yeah, there's certainly a case to be made there. Absolutely.
What do you always tell me if Grandma in
Grandma
the upper
can't
deck
see from
can't
the top
see
row?
it? Yeah. 2nd and 11. Sellers. Yeah, his pocket presence. He knows when to extend that play. Did it there. Found Attaway on a gain of 6. Sets up a 3rd and manageable here.
Sellers looks a little bit more comfortable now. He looks a little more relaxed, and I think getting him involved in the scramble game and in the run game has allowed him to settle in and complete a few short passes. Shane Beamer hopes he's dialed in now.
3rd and 4. Empty set. Attaway, the motion man. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Sellers going to tuck and run. Has the first down across the 35 before he's tripped up. Lenoris Sellers showing off his legs on this South Carolina drive. Gain of 11.
And that's just good recognition by Sellers. You'll see they try a stunt, which opens up that A gap to Sellers' left, and he doesn't hesitate. Boom, he just hits that thing. It's just great recognition by the young quarterback.
Play action. Check down to Doty. Gets past the 30 before he's gang tackled by Wofford. Gain of 5.
South Carolina going to be short on tight ends here today. Brady Hunt not going to play. I'm not sure we're going to see much out of Joshua Simon, so we should see a lot more wide receivers, seeing a lot more 10 personnel in the game here right now.
That away. This will be very close to a first down. Needed 4, got 4, moved the chains again. South Carolina just slowly, methodically working their way down the field. This will be the 14th play of this long Gamecocks drive upcoming. They have yet to get Rocket Sanders going on this drive. Sellers surveys, in trouble, rolls right. Decides to run it again, safely out of bounds. So instead of a sack, Sellers takes it for a gain of 1.
And again, that's to me what Sellers does the best. It's not just really his ability as a runner, as he can extend. Look, he tackled right there, but just chugs that thing off. And Dow Loggins compared him to Steve McNair, former Titans quarterback. I played with Steve for 4 years, and I think that's a dead-on comparison. So strong in the pocket, can extend, but when he has to tuck that thing, he can.
Sanders has yet to find some running room in this opening quarter. He came into the game just 21 rush yards shy of 3,000 in his terrific career.
Man, Rocket Sanders, you gotta love him. What a fantastic career. He's a guy that just gets stronger as the game goes on. As a defender, you start to wear down a little bit and get tired. His energy increases.
South Carolina 3 for 4 on 3rd down. And they've got a 3rd and 4 here. Sellers throws. It's caught. Another 3rd down conversion. Nick Harbor takes it to the 10, a gain of 6 to move the chains again when they needed it.
It's a good job by Sellers in the pocket. That thing's collapsing him on a bit, but he just keeps his eyes downfield. Got a defender right in his grill. Doesn't get antsy and try to run around. He stays in there and finds his big, tall wide receiver, Nick Harbor, who had a big game last week.
17th play of this long South Carolina drive. Can they punch it in? Rocket Sanders trying to do just that. Breaks a tackle, stays on his feet. Rocket Sanders, a vintage Sanders run. Touchdown, South Carolina.
Well, Jay, you nailed it. That is a vintage Rocket Sanders run. Hits the perimeter, 1 tackle break, 2 tackles break, 3-4 into the end zone. Won't be denied. These fans here in South Carolina love Rocket Sanders, and you can see why they're running the pylon over. If you get in the way of Rocket Sanders, you will go down.
How about this drive for South Carolina? They go 90 yards over 17 plays, take nearly 9 minutes off the clock.
And you can take a deep breath a little bit and say, okay, I think we're settled in now after really not playing well to open this game up on both sides of the ball. Glad to see that offense get together.
The Rocket Sanders, his 13th touchdown of the season. He's now just 4 yards away from 3,000 career rush yards over his outstanding career in the SEC. Gets the much-needed touchdown for South Carolina.
Blitz by Missouri. Shuffle pass inside. Sanders inside the 10. 5. Rocket going for it. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Rocket Sanders.
The great Todd Ellis on the call, voice of the Gamecocks. That drama a week ago at Williams-Brice Stadium. Everybody on the edge of their seat, and then boom, a touchdown in the final 15 seconds to win it, keep this 4-game winning streak alive. The energy in this stadium, the feel-good factor in Columbia, you can feel it.
And that was amazing last week. They essentially had to go on 2 game-winning drives because Missouri responded. Then Lenore Sellers, in quick fashion, led them right back down the field. The shovel pass for the touchdown, amazing.
How awesome is this atmosphere?
Oh, it's great.
Nothing better than a team that gets hot. This fan base so good. And Shane Beamer, this Gamecocks team, really enjoying the run they're on. Sean Watson and Wofford gave him a bit of a scare in the first 5 minutes, but Shane Beamer's team has responded brilliantly. Their defense delivered, and then that long 90-yard, 17-play touchdown drive. And one shy of tying Steve Spurrier for most wins in the first 4 seasons for a South Carolina head coach. Could do that today with a win. It could even beat it next week against Clemson potentially. Ingram swallowed up. Debo Williams.
Debo Williams, that is the face of this South Carolina defense. I mean, literally, there's a billboard of him right outside the stadium. He is, I mean, what a fantastic player. Just a hard-hitting, downhill linebacker that plays with a ton of energy. It's infectious for this defense.
Rocky, you're a former linebacker, 8 years in the NFL after 4 at Notre Dame. You have to have a ton of fun watching Debo Williams and Demetrius Knight. Those two have been terrific this season. Great dynamic duo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like they just have one, but yeah, Knight has been the perfect complement. We got 2 guys out there that can run sideline to sideline and shed blocks and bring down ball carriers. You got a sound defense. You add those 2 guys to the mix of what I think is one of the top defensive fronts in the SEC. You got a good defense.
They'll have their ears pinned back on a 3rd and 9. Odom gets rid of it quickly, and it's intercepted. O'Donnell Fortune, with blockers in front of him, gets inside the 20. There's 2 flags down in the backfield, but as it stands, the 5th-year senior Fortune with his 4th interception on the season.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 46. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
So that negates the Fortune interception. Brian Thomas Jr. called for the personal foul.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. What a great play by O'Donnell Fortune.
Let's get another look at this.
Yeah, that's late. In today's football, that's going to get called. It's late, and it's right in the chops. Shane Beamer can't believe it. I mean, you're getting ready to get a turnover, a short field. Great play by O'Donnell Fortune. Now you give him a fresh set of downs and 15 yards.
That's the 4th penalty against South Carolina in this opening quarter. The one negated a touchdown. That one takes away an interception. So they've been costly.
Yeah, I mean, those are the things that I think South Carolina has done well during their win streak here. Has played a little bit cleaner football, not seeing the penalties, not seeing the turnovers. But unfortunately, it's got them a few times here today.
20 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Wofford with the ball at the 44-yard line. Going to keep it on the ground. Not much running room there, and that should do it for the opening 15 minutes. Well, the highlight for South Carolina, liftoff from Rocket Sanders. A 13th touchdown of the season for Sanders, and a 7-3 lead. Trying to take care of business against Wofford on Senior Day. Season with teams like Vanderbilt coming alive, just feels like there's no basement, so much parity. We still don't know who the top teams will be playing in the SEC championship. 3rd and 5. Down goes Odom, and guess who? Kyle Kennard. How good has he been? 11.5 sacks on the season after that one.
Kyle Kennard is synonymous with game wrecker. That guy is going to make a lot of money here real soon. He is
Number
an
15
absolute stud on
South
that
Carolina
end.
is now wearing 47. 15 is wearing 47.
What a special season for Kyle Kennard. I mean, when you're in company with Jadeveon Clowney, second most in program history for sacks in a season. He'll have a chance to beat Clowney's record. There's still at least 2 games to be played after this one for South Carolina. The punt to 35 yards, goes to the 30, and that's where South Carolina will have the ball when we come back. Just underway in the second quarter here at Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina leads 7-3. The Gamecocks offense led by Lenora Sellers back onto the field.
And part of being a quarterback is you make a mistake, you got to flush it out of your head. And since Lenora Sellers threw that interception there early on that first drive, he's 7 for 7 for 50 yards and 24 yards rushing. That's a way to settle down.
That is the exact response you want to see from a young quarterback who continues to impress. Dialing up a deep ball. It's caught. Monster gain on first down. Dale Von Campbell. Sellers hit him right on the money for a gain of 58.
Oh, and do we mention Lenora Sellers has a cannon attached to his right shoulder too. Effortlessly drops this ball in the bucket. And Dale Von Campbell has had the best 2 games of his career. Last week, 2 catches for 86 yards, was big late in that game. Had a touchdown called back earlier, but that's a big catch right there.
They run it with Sanders, and there's history. With that carry, Rocket Sanders now goes over 3,000 career rushing yards.
Let's get that ball out of it. Let's get that thing over on the sideline so we can keep it.
Today's age of college football, we're seeing a little bit more of that because they play for so long. He's done it in 4 years.
That's a great point.
It's not like he's a 7th-year senior. Right back to Sanders. Cuts back, and he's met by a swarm of Wofford defenders.
He's still found a way to get positive yardage there, just spinning, driving, whatever he's got to do.
Just feels like he never has a bad game. Mr. Consistent. That is how you get to 3,000 career rushing yards. Just keep stacking it up.
And that's what football coaches want. They don't like the players that have great games one week and then they kind of disappear for a week or 2 and then come back consistently. How good are you? That's what you want to base your team on.
3rd and 1. They give it right to Sanders, reaching over the goal line, and they mark him down inside the 1. I thought he broke the plane.
That's going to be close here. I wonder if they'll take another look at this. But they're just going to get back up the line and snap this thing.
Sellers goes under center. Bulldozes into the end zone. Touchdown, Lenora Sellers. So after a long drive, 17 plays, 90 yards, they just take 2 minutes and 12 seconds, go 5 plays, 71 yards for a South Carolina touchdown.
It was all set up by that deep bomb to Campbell. Perfectly thrown ball. Norris Sellers, I mean, what a treat to see him in person. See the smiles on the, hey, look at that guy. Who's that? Spencer Rattler. He got to watch one of the best last year, watching Rattler, how he played. Learned a lot from him, and he's putting it out there on that field.
Now, Rattler with the New Orleans Saints right now. They're on a bye week, so he's back here in Columbia over on the sideline. So that run had it all. Rocket Sanders making some history. 3,000 career rushing yards for Rocket, and then Lenoris Sanders pounding it into the end zone. A 14-3 lead early in the second. And then on that last drive goes over 3,000 career rushing yards. Obviously a phenomenal career at Arkansas. Transfers here to South Carolina. What a year he has had. Mr. Reliable out of the backfield. Lenoris Sellers capped off that drive with the touchdown, but it's all about Sanders. Let's check in with Ashley Strohline on the sideline.
Yeah, Jay, well, I had a chance to speak to Rocket Sanders ahead of this game, and I said, you're so close to 3,000 rushing yards. What will it mean when it happens? He says, I really owe it all to my O-linemen at Arkansas and South Carolina. Those are the guys that blocked for me and helped me accomplish that. He says also playing through injury and adversity, it just shows that it's all worth it. But it's not just about who he is on the field. He also made history in his own family, becoming the first person in his family to graduate college. He said that was so important when looking at what school he was going to transfer to, where would the credits go. South Carolina made sure that he would be able to graduate in May. He also did it for his young son. That's Junior.
What an awesome story, Ashley.
Yeah, and for Sanders, again, it's just the consistency and always putting good stuff on tape and also in the classroom. Getting to become a graduate. There's his young son. Look at that guy. I bet he's pretty good at running the old ball, too. Put a football in that kid's hand.
Rocket Jr. Now Raheem Sanders Sr., affectionately called Rocket throughout his college career, watching the South Carolina defense go to work. Wofford, you know, started this game on that 63-yard strike on a bubble screen, and they've never gone back to it. It's interesting.
Yeah, it worked once, and just shoot it out there again, see if they made an adjustment.
So they gained 63 yards on that one play. The next 11 plays for Wofford, they gained 0. A couple of sacks set them back, and a couple of chunk plays, but
well, as I described earlier, this is a real live SEC defense. And length on the defensive line, speed on the edges and in the back end. Linebackers that come downhill.
powerful run by Ryan Ingram. 3rd and 4 upcoming.
They got dudes all across that defense, and you can see in the havoc plays really doing well. The sacks, the turnovers, the TFLs, that's what it's all about, playing defense in the SEC. And this has been a unit that has really carried this team as the offense, and Lenoris Sellers has developed and come into their own. They've been leading the charge.
A team playing as well as anybody in the country right now. And they'll wrap up. Ingram shy of the first down marker. Monquel Goodwine got there. Transferred from Alabama. Now, interesting, 4th and 2. If you're Wofford, I feel like you got nothing to lose.
I think so.
Sean Watson agrees with us. Shane Beamer takes a timeout. Didn't have the right personnel on the field.
South Carolina, first time out this half.
It looked like Shane Beamer thought that the punt unit was going to come on the field. Instead, they brought in 4 new offensive players,
including a new quarterback, Bryce Corson, the 5th-year senior, instead of the freshman Amari Odom. So Beamer burns that timeout. And now what do you do if you're Sean Watson? Do you stick with that personnel grouping? Do you change it up?
I I think, you know, obviously South Carolina is going to adjust, so I'd put something brand new out there and force South Carolina to move around a little bit and have to find out who they're covering, where their zone is.
You're playing an SEC team on the road, ranked 18th in the country. They've won 4 in a row, playing as well as anybody in the country. Yeah. Rocky, I'd take a shot. I mean, 4th and 2, everybody's expecting you to run it up the middle, try and gain 2 yards. I'd do a play action. I'd try and catch them off guard.
A shot or something deceptive. You can't just line up and go toe-to-toe with this defense here. You got to have some sort of, and now they're going to change their mind and punt the football away. Really would like to see Wofford go for it there and have a little confidence in that offense, and they're going to punt it. Oh, fake.
It's a fake, and it pays off. First down, Wofford. Trickery. I almost said, you were like, it's too bad that they're not going to go for it. I almost said, they could try a fake here, and of course they do, and it pays off. Gain of 4.
Shane Beamer, your last name's Beamer. Special teams are important to you here, and right now they just get the edge. Maximus Pulley on that right edge there, able to seal the end, and Shane Beamer can't believe it.
Kyle Parsons picked up that first down for Wofford. And again, a run up the middle for a gain of 3 for Ryan Ingram. And just keep waiting for Wofford to take that shot, I think. I mean, 1st and 10, you get the fake punt. Why not try one there?
Yeah, I just, again, going toe-to-toe and trying to run that ball in the B and C gaps all day, that's tough to do with this South Carolina defensive line. Get that ball out in space a little bit. To your point, take a shot.
2nd and 7, play action. Here comes the shot. Odom overshoots his target. Kyle Watkins streaking down the sideline. Missed him by a couple of yards.
And that's an area that Odom has to develop in, is his accuracy. He's at 55% accuracy on the season here, and that's a tough throw, but a big strong kid like that, as he develops, that's what the ones you got to hit.
South Carolina's 3rd down defense has been terrific this afternoon. They have forced Wofford to be 0 for 4 on 3rd down today.
The last 3rd down, South Carolina brought pressure here, able to get Kennard loose. Let's see what they do here.
Kennard on the bottom of the defensive line, lost his footing there. Odom steps up, the pass is dropped. Bobbled and dropped by Ricky Shaw. Would have been close to a first down had he held on, instead of 4th and 7.
And they went with a blitz, and you're right, Kyle Kennard slips right to the right of your screen there, but not able to hold on the ball. That was a good job by Swain, staying with that thing.
Wofford in no man's land. This is too far for a field goal attempt. You're not going to punt it from the 36-yard line, so going to try and pick up a 4th and 7 here. They converted on a 4th and 2 via a fake punt. And the Terriers will have to burn a timeout.
Wofford, first timeout this half.
We'll take the timeout as well. South Carolina in control, up 14-3. 4th and 7 upcoming for Wofford. Season for a South Carolina team that's 7-3. Now they were 3-3, 6 games in. Didn't know how this season was going to turn out, and then they rattled off 4 straight wins at Oklahoma, Texas A&M, at Vanderbilt, and last week against Missouri. Now trying to make it 5 straight wins against Wofford, and then all eyes for rivalry week when they go on the road at Clemson.
It's been such a crazy year in the SEC, and there's no dominant team has emerged. It seems like every team has kind of had their moment, but this time of year right now, South Carolina's playing some of the best football in the SEC. Here we go.
They lined up for the field goal. It's another fake. 4th and 7. How about this from Wofford? Only 3 on the line, taking a deep shot. Corriston, and it's caught. There's a flag down. But as it stands, it'd be an incredible touchdown on 4th and 7. It's not going to count.
Offensive for 87. 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
Remains 4th down.
What a catch. Carlos Anaya. Coruscant, who's the holder. So they faked the 53-yard field goal, and that was perfect, except it won't count.
And you'll see him, he comes out in the left, and you see he's a wing. He'll be, I mean, there's a couple guys that left a little bit early, and that's just unfortunate.
Even if you're a South Carolina fan, you got to be looking at that going, for them, giving it a shot. You know, you're lining up 3 guys on the offensive line. The special teams delivers there. Beautiful pump by Sam Spence. Pitt, South Carolina on their 0-2.
What do you think about LSU losing Bryce Underwood, Jay?
I think it's a tough blow to a program that hasn't had a great season.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Brian Kelly and that crew down there.
If the NIL money that is being reported to Underwood is almost a safety here, Rocket Sanders does what he does, break a couple of tackles and avoids a disaster. But if the money being reported on that NIL deal is true, there's not much LSU can do if Michigan's just going to...
I can't believe it's that number. The 10 million they're throwing around out there?
10 to 12 million was what was being reported.
Crazy.
South Carolina doesn't like LSU because that is the team that right now is keeping them out of the playoff. If they had won that game and there was a controversial call that when you watch it, you think, yeah, it probably shouldn't have been called. If they win that game, they're in the field.
And that's kind of what happened is they've had so much success the last 4 weeks, and now sometimes instead of enjoying it, they keep going back to that LSU loss. Like, God, if we just got that one, where would we be?
Right. Risky pass, and it falls incomplete. Fortunate, because that could have been picked off. Tried to squeeze it into Luke Doty.
Yeah, he was trying to squeeze that thing in there, but there was a terrier on either side of Doty. I think had he thrown the ball the opposite shoulder away from Javis Minette, might have been able to complete it, but a great stop here by Wofford.
This is going to be a 3-and-out for South Carolina. Kai Kroger punting from his own end zone here. We've seen some bizarre special teams so far today. This will be flagged. A fake punt that was converted, a fake field goal.
Full start, offense number 23. Half distance to the goal, 4th down.
A fake field goal that went for a touchdown and was called back for Wofford. And Shane Beamer's not going to try anything crazy from inside his own 5-yard line here after the penalty.
But he certainly is not happy. You see him shaking his head right there. Just, you know, the penalties, the miscues, you know, late hit on the quarterback that stops an interception earlier. Just kind of one thing after another. Just the antithesis of the way he wanted to come out and play in this game early.
Well, somewhere his father, the legend Frank Beamer, is shaking his head at all these special team miscues. Yeah. Really backed up in his own end zone. The lefty punter, Kai Kroger, puts it high in the sky. Drilled and dropped to the 43-yard line. Amir Anor absolutely wrecked. Punt to 51 yards. Should have called for the fair catch. Instead, took a walloping.
That's something will get your team fired up. Haven't been playing as well in special teams as we would like to. Boom. Crunch.
Dale Von Campbell, the wide receiver, who also was on the punt unit there. He's having a great game.
Having a great 2 weeks. A couple big catches last week. Playing a nice game today as well.
Odom gets rid of it quickly. Wide open target. The tight end Jordan Davis with his first catch of the night.
And this Wofford team, Sean Watson, you see him there talk this week. They need some skill guys to develop, right? They're just a little short on playmakers. We saw Kyle Watkins earlier, great player.
New quarterback champion for the Terriers, and you've seen him earlier this half. He was the holder on that fake field goal that aired it out for the touchdown that did not stand. Goes under center. Pitch running left. Ryan Ingram picks up the first down for Wofford into South Carolina territory.
We'll bring Cortiston in there for the pitch, get the first down.
He's probably given Sean Watson and his coaching staff something to think about. Threw a great ball on that fake 53-yard field goal that went for a touchdown before it was called back. We've seen 2 touchdowns negated, one for South Carolina, one for Wofford in this first half. Big gain here. J.T. Smith takes it inside the 30, but it's likely coming back. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage. So as we're talking about negated touchdowns, a 17-yard run will be taken away because of a penalty.
Holding offense number 60. 10-yard penalty for the spot on the foul. The Kings first down.
That's Luke Moyes, the freshman left guard. Sean Watson's been real excited about this year. Young guy. You know, this is a team, Jay, that a couple years back they were running triple option, little wing T sort of thing. So they're kind of adjusting to this new spread system they're running. Need some offensive linemen that fit that system, and Luke Moyes, a young guy that fits the bill.
First and 15 after the penalty. No gain there.
That was essentially the same play that they had a big gain on before the penalty. Ran it back, but that time Debo Williams right there lying in wait.
South Carolina sends 4 on a 2nd and 15. The screen. Kyle Parsons has the first down and more inside the 25. Wrestled down at the 20. Swain eventually made the tackle for South Carolina, but a gain of 29 for Kyle Parsons.
That's what you do, Jay. Got an aggressive defense. Use that aggression against them and get the screen. Get South Carolina coming upfield. Drop it down to your running back, Parsons. It's an excellent play call in that situation.
Wofford knocking on the doorstep of the red zone here. 1st and 10 from the Gamecocks 21. Under 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Odom in trouble. Throws on the run. It's caught. Isaiah Scott wrapped up at the 5-yard line. Gain of 16.
And Odom was close to being past the line of scrimmage. No flag there. It was very, very close. I thought he was just going to tuck this thing and keep running. That's what Sean Watson told us this week when we met with him. Oh, yeah, he was well behind it there. He's a guy that's always kind of reluctant to tuck it and run. He wants him to run with that ball a little bit more, but even going back to his high school days, he played in an offense where it was all about throwing and getting the ball out. Sometimes trust those legs. Worked out there for him, though.
Yeah, late decision, but it paid off. 1st and goal from the 5. Wofford trying to punch it in. Ryan Ingram swallowed up. Nicky Manwari in on the scene. The junior safety read it beautifully. A loss of 1.
Manwari, he's the enforcer on this defense. You know, Clayton White, the DC yesterday, talked about, you know, he's at the eraser position, right? He just erases mistakes. Somebody in the gap, boom, he comes up and gets
foul.
him.
Unnecessary roughness. Excuse me, on the defense. Half distance to goal from the speeding spot. Automatic first down.
Now, they call that on Manwari right there?
I didn't see it.
I'm not sure I see the issue there. The whistle had not been blown.
That's another late flag.
Oh, it's the celebration, I think, is what they're getting him. It didn't look like it wasn't a taunting, though.
Well, a couple of late flags that have affected Shane Beamer's team in this first half. After the penalty, 1st and goal from the Gamecocks 3. Coruscant into the game, fakes the pitch, running right, and that's a loss of a couple. Demetrius Knight chased Coruscant out of bounds. It's a loss of 2.
And we got clarification. They actually called that penalty on the push. But Demetrius Knight, Coach Beamer told us yesterday, they thought when they got Knight here from Charlotte, where he played last year, they thought they were getting a really good football player, had no idea the amount of impact that Demetrius Knight would have. He's a Senior Bowl invite. He has been a real impact player for this defense.
And Wofford is going to take this down to the 2-minute timeout. So when we come back, 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Wofford trying to make it a 1-possession game here at the end of the first half. South Carolina a lot of times in critical spots, and the latest one has put Wofford right on the doorstep here, trailing 14-3. 2 minutes remaining in this first half. 2nd and goal from the 4. They stick with Bryce Coruscant in at quarterback. He's the backup. Hand off to Ingram, trying to bulldoze his way in. Kyle Kennard made the stop.
Timeout. South Carolina, their 2nd of the half. This will be
South Carolina with 1 timeout remaining, 3rd and goal upcoming.
And Wofford, as this game goes on and they hang around, the more confidence they get. Here they are knocking on the doorstep.
Seems to be some confusion over on the Terrier sideline, though. They've been switching quarterbacks throughout the drive. Amari Odom trying to figure out if he's in on this play or not. He's a starter, and now he is going to run in.
They're actually going to sub 4 guys in. They're going to bring both Odom and Kyle Watkins, their best wide receiver. Wonder if something's going to come to him. He's their impact guy.
Number 81 in white. He's going to be on the far side of the field.
Top of your screen. O'Donnell Fortune over top of him.
Movement before the snap, and it's a false start.
And that's the thing. We got so many guys coming on off the field.
Offense number 68.
It just,
It remains so bad.
you had a good rhythm going there, right? Like, why you're exchanging guys in and out, swapping 4 guys, causes stuff like that. Offsides penalty.
3rd and goal. And you wonder if this is 4-down territory for Wofford. Odom steps up, throws, it's caught! Touchdown Wofford! Dylan DeJetti, the junior, got free, and the Terriers strike right before halftime.
And there's some miscommunication on the back end. DeJetti is wide open in the front of the end zone. I mean, that's the easiest throw for the quarterback, right there in front of him. Force a throw to the outside there. Something's not going well.
Their 2nd timeout this half. This is a 30-second timeout.
I think Wofford might be talking this over to potentially go for 2, make this a field goal game.
I think it's a smart move here. Let's watch here on the back end.
He's wide open.
He's wide open. There's 3 Scarlet jerseys right there, but no one there to get in the way of Dylan DeJetti.
Now, this is pretty incredible. This is a South Carolina team that was playing as well as anybody in the country. 4 straight SEC wins, 3 of those against ranked opponents here at home. Feel-good factor couldn't have been better going into this game, and Shane Beamer's team has struggled in this first half.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it's only human nature. You look at down at Wofford's record, okay, they're a 5-6 team, FCS, not going to the playoff. We got Clemson next week, our big rival. It's only human nature to start looking ahead and looking past this team. But they're in a real football game right now.
And Wofford is going for 2 to try and make it a field goal difference here with under 2 minutes to play in the second quarter.
I'd get Odom on the move here, give him a run pass option.
They do. Odom running right, looks back left, throws, and it's intercepted. Debo Williams delivers defensively. If there's going to be a guy that set the tone in this game for Shane Beamer's team, it's Debo Williams.
Yeah, big moments, lean on your veterans. 5th-year senior Debo Williams played a lot of football. And just watch him right there in the middle of your screen. He's looking around, feeling where the wide receiver's coming, and just great acceleration right there at the end as Odom's trying to fit that ball in across his body. That's what you need. You need a veteran, big-time player on your team to step up and stop the bleeding there a bit. That's a way to get a little momentum back on the side of South Carolina. Right now, 148 with only 1 timeout. You need your offense to drive down the field here and score.
Penalties have hurt South Carolina in this first half. They've committed 6 of them. They've had a couple of special teams miscues as well.
Now, the late hit penalty that kept that last Wofford drive going, I didn't necessarily agree with that. Their forward momentum hadn't been stopped, and didn't even hear a whistle, but nonetheless, it kept that drive going. They get the touchdown.
Juju McDowell going to return this from his own 5. A couple of good blocks, breaks a tackle, gets past the 30, and now a great chance for this Gamecocks offense led by Lenora Sellers to engineer a 2-minute drill here. Maybe give some cushion, make this a 2-score game headed into halftime.
Yeah, this is where Lenora Sellers is getting his continual development here. That's what Dal Loggins told us yesterday. What are the big moments for the quarterback? Right, 2-minute drill. That's the biggest one. You've got to be good in that situation if you want to be called one of the best. Let's see what he has here.
Empty set on a 1st and 10. Sellers running it again. He's been effective with his feet in this first half. Gets to the 40, a gain of 9.
And it's worth mentioning, one of their best players in the security blanket for Sellers, Joshua Simon, not playing in this game.
Only 1 timeout for the Gamecocks on this drive, but the clock will stop on 1st down pickups like that one. Sellers checks it down. Nobody was open. That pass is caught.
That was a great job by Lenore Sellers. Again, extending the play and just allowing those wide receivers find a little crease, find a little opening, then put the ball in the money.
.64 seconds remaining in this first half. Ball into Wofford territory here for Sellers and the South Carolina offense. And checks it down again. Another South Carolina 1st down. Nice job by the freshman Bennett to hang on. Absorbed a big hit there after he made the catch.
Again, Wofford's defense is doing everything they can. Keep it in front of us, right? Make them go the length of the field here.
Sellers in trouble. Down he goes. Jalen Marshall, the leading tackler of this Wofford defense, delivers a huge sack.
South Carolina, 3rd and final timeout of the half. A 30-second timeout.
And that's Wofford's best defensive player. And just the offensive line didn't pass that thing off. Case and Henry, the right tackle. Torricelli Simpkins, the right guard, not on the same page there. Henry goes out the block, a wide guy, and then Jalen Marshall comes right underneath.
In South Carolina, they have no choice but to burn that final timeout.
I just don't think Lenore Sellers saw him in time, because it wasn't like Jalen Marshall was hot, where he knows he's got to get the ball. He's expecting that thing to be blocked up, and it wasn't. By the time he found out, he was on his back, not able to throw that ball away. Yes, has to use the timeout.
So South Carolina now out of timeouts. A loss of 7 on the sack and only 47 seconds to work with now. Sellers, good protection this time, delivers a great ball. It's caught by Campbell. Clock stops on a first down, gain of 27.
Great job here, a little mesh, 2 crossers, shallow underneath, and Delvon Campbell on a dig route in the intermediate. Great play. Same play.
Sellers right back to Campbell. A broken tackle inside the 10. Bounced out of bounds inside the 5. Back-to-back big receptions by Delvon Campbell.
And a great job. Again, it was essentially the same play twice in a row. That time Wofford takes away that intermediate route coming in at 15. Sellers very smartly takes the shallow route to Campbell, gets the ball in the hand of his great wide receiver.
Well, it has not been the best first half for this South Carolina team, but if they could punch it in here, they'd feel good headed into halftime. First and goal. Sellers keeps it, pitches it, touchdown, Gamecocks. And it's Maurice Brown with his first touchdown of the season.
Maurice Brown forced to step up with no Joshua Simon, no Brady Hunt, no Michael Smith. I saw Maurice Brown before the game. They were just tossing, and he like jumped out of the stadium and just snapped. I was like, "Who's that guy?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's our third tight end." Well, you know, he called upon to step up, and he did right there, very big.
Terrific 2-minute drill executed by this South Carolina offense. They go 68 yards in 8 plays in just 1:22. Sellers a perfect 5 for 5, including that passing touchdown to Brown.
A lot of credit goes to Lenora Sellers. You know, here's that dig route coming right underneath in the intermediate. Delvon Campbell, who is playing the best football of his life right now. Sellers now doesn't force the ball intermediate. They give you the shallow route, you take it. Don't pass up wide open wide receivers. And right there, the little flip pass to Maurice Brown. Shane Beamer's got to say, yeah, you know, that's what it takes. Sometimes you're just not on your game. You're having some penalties, a little flat. Can you lean on your quarterback to deliver? And Lenora Sellers has this half, especially on that last drive. And you mentioned it, Jay, a huge exhale of relief.
Yeah, it's now a 2-possession game. This Wofford team has battled in this first half, but couldn't keep South Carolina out of the end zone on that 2-minute drill. The Carolina band is about to take the field at halftime. Big week for them, Rocky. They are headed to New York City tomorrow, where they will be participating in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There they are, ready to take the field. Outstanding opportunity for them, made possible by Shane Beamer and Dawn Staley and Darius Rucker. They donated the money for the travel. 372 members in the band, so That's expensive in New York City.
Yeah, exactly.
There they are. It's time to roll. The band headed to New York City. But first, they'll be on the field for halftime. And before we get to that, let's go down to Ashley Stroline, who's with Shane Beamer.
Well, Coach Beamer, how important was that last touchdown on offensive drive to kind of reset the tone as you head into the second half?
Huge. We've been pretty good 2-minute wise. We may need to just do that the entire game, every game. But that was huge. Give Wofford credit. We knew it was going to be that kind of game. But, I mean, I've just got a list of self-inflicted mistakes that has allowed this game to be 21-9. But to be able to go down the field right there, overcome a sack, and get a touchdown before the half was huge.
And speaking of those self-inflicted wounds, how do you clean those up in the second half?
Just do our job. I mean, I wish I could tell you it's physical. It's just not doing our job. And I mean, starting with the first play of the game where they give us an unusual formation. We check. One side gets the check. The other side doesn't get the check, and it results in a 70-yard pass. So just do our job.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving Day parade on the field in the first half. The Gamecocks, it was a little nervy there in the first half, but then that final drive, Lenora Sellers showed what he could do. Strong first half performance after the interception.
Yeah, a lot of miscues from South Carolina, a lot of penalties, but Lenora Sellers, after started the game with an interception, after that he has been lights out. 14 of 16, 175 yards. The touchdown, that was the deep ball to Campbell right there, and just his ability right there before the half as Wofford scores, and you're like, okay, here we go. Everyone starts to get tight. Lenora Sellers comes out with an excellent drive. He took a sack in that drive and still able to keep it going. That's what you want out of your quarterback.
Yeah, that 2-minute drill hopefully can set the tone for this Gamecocks team as they try and put Wofford away. A 21-9 lead at halftime. Now this Gamecocks team trying to make it 5 straight wins. They take a 12-point lead into the second half. We'll have kickoff. Gamecocks get the ball to start the second. Stadium final home game of the season for South Carolina. The Gamecocks a 21-9 halftime lead. Let's check in down on the sideline with Ashley Stroline.
Well, I just spoke with Wofford head coach, Coach Watson. He told me he loves how his guys are playing. He said our offense is moving the ball. The defense is doing good against a really good South Carolina offense. He said, I just can't get over the heart that my team is playing with. My message to them at halftime was like, let's do it all over again in the second half. Let's keep going. We're doing so good, and this could be our game to take.
Ashley, that was an awesome hit and also hilarious because it was a hide-and-go-seek as Sandstorm was playing.
Yeah, he cut the lights out on you real quick.
That's awesome.
Way to keep your composure.
Also, I did forget that they play Sandstorm on every touchdown and multiple times throughout the game, because before the game I said this will be the final Sandstorm of the 2024 season. That was the final pregame Sandstorm, but I think we're up to 8 or 9 sandstorms on the day, and Shane Beamer's hoping it's a lot more than that in this second half.
And, you know, look, if you're a South Carolina fan, if you're Shane Beamer, you're probably in the back of your head like, okay, this is a game where we'll start getting some backups in early in the second or in the first half there, and it's not been the case because Wofford has come out and played real well. South Carolina getting that drive right before half, the touchdown drive was huge.
And the Gamecocks will start the second half with the ball. Juju McDowell the return. He's upended shy of the 20. Lenora Sellers had a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown in that first half. He becomes just the 5th player in South Carolina history to have 15 passing touchdowns and 5 rushing touchdowns in a single season.
Yeah, and I mean, that's of all the things Shane Beamer said yesterday about Lenora Sellers, the one thing that really stood out to him was the poise, right? He said he's an old soul. He's always the same, never too high, never too low. And in a first half where things are kind of going awry a little bit and some penalties and some miscues on defense, that poise really enabled this team to stay in this game and take a big lead.
And Rocket Sanders gets his first carry of the second half. Marlon smokes the tackle for Wofford. You know, that poise definitely helps in those 2-minute drills, and you heard Shane Beamer tell Ashley right before halftime, Sellers excels in those situations. He did it a week ago against Missouri at the end of the game, and when you've got a young quarterback that possesses the poise in the big moments, that bodes very well.
No, I mean, that's the best quality you can have as a quarterback, because things are going to go wrong, right? There's going to be a turnover. You're going to throw an interception like he did very early in this game, but can you come back out, flush that out of your mind, and make big plays? He has.
And he's ignited some drives in the run game. Takes that one for a South Carolina first down, gain of 15.
He's still so deadly with his legs as you get back there and you're dropping into coverage, and hey, we got to get every zone locked up. He does that. Picks up the first down.
Sanders running it. Positive yards into Wofford territory, gain of 7. And I think Sellers is a microcosm for this South Carolina team when Shane Beamer says we have improved every week. Now that's every coach's goal, to improve every week. South Carolina has actually done it.
They've actually done it. Early in the season, South Carolina fans know turnovers, maybe forcing a ball or two here, not good ball security, and as this season's gone on, he's gotten better. And it's experience. There's absolutely no substitute for it. You can't get better standing on the sideline. Got to get out there and play when the bullets are live. He's done that this year, and it's, you know, but with that and also just honing in on those coaching points, it's turned him into a really, really good quarterback.
Sellers, quarterback keeper again, turns the corner. Bounced out of bounds. There's a flag down at the 33-yard line. This run might be coming back.
Holding, offense number 9, 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul.
Well,
Big first down.
the penalties were the story for Shane Beamer in that first half, so he won't be happy with that holding call.
Let's see, here's Doty's leading him around. Oh, nah. I don't see much there. That's don't love that call right there.
You got to start printing T-shirts. If Grandma can't see it,
That's my motto. Grandma can't see it from the top row. Shouldn't throw the flag. I mean, there was no jersey pull. There was no, you know, got him around the collar. All right, I think Shane Beamer's a little frustrated with how some of these calls have gone as well.
1st and 19, screen to Sanders. It breaks one tackle and then wrapped up. I know we don't track broken tackles, but I wish we did, because Rocket Sanders has to be one of the guys across all of college football that's broken more tackles than anybody else over his 4-year career.
And if there's a quality you want out of running back, it's the ability to break tackles.
That's why he went over 3,000 career rushing yards in that first half, and he is far from done. Gets the carry here. Another broken tackle. A couple of them. Right on cue, Rocket Sanders muscling his way for a gain of 17.
Between Sellers and Sanders, I mean, both these two guys just have the ability to calm things down, make some big plays, breaking tackles. And I love how it gets a little bit of traffic. He puts 2 arms on that ball, make sure he secures it.
Third and 3. Sellers takes a shot, wide open, touchdown, South Carolina. Nick Harbor left all alone, and it's a quick strike to start the second half for this Gamecocks offense.
And Nick Harbor's really been coming on. Made humongous strides from last year to this year, and this is just a seam route, and you're going to see the middle linebacker, David Powers. It's tough to run with that guy. That guy's like a 10 flat 100 meters, and he's 6'5". It was a great look, great view there. And waiting for Lenore Sellers to connect.
There's a flag down on the extra point.
Offside. Defense 71. Penalty is declined. Result of the try, successful kick.
So Wofford had cut this South Carolina lead to 14-9 with 1:48 left in the second quarter. Back-to-back touchdown drives for South Carolina. The Gamecocks have blown this game open. And since then, Rocky, he's been perfect.
There's no better way to describe his poise than that right there. You throw an interception, first drive of the game, a lot of quarterbacks that goes to their head and they get frustrated. He just flushes that out and has been absolutely fantastic. 17 of 18, 220 yards and 2 touchdown passes.
They had 47 rushing yards and a touchdown for the talented redshirt freshman quarterback. Reminder tonight, finish your college football Saturday with SEC football final. The guys will take you through the biggest games and stories. They'll break down every single SEC football game that was played today, coming after Vanderbilt at LSU.
Imagine there's going to be some discussion about that Ole Miss Florida game.
Oh, yeah.
The boys will be all over that one.
You got to give Billy Napier and his staff and his players a ton of credit. And the whole country saying, blow it up, and they have responded. Bowl eligible and a top 10 win. A chance to win as many as 8 games now. If they can beat Florida State next week in Tallahassee and then win a bowl game, you finish the season with 8 wins. What a statement that would be.
Yeah, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Billy Napier's stuck to his plan. Has his team playing well when it counts.
Yeah, look, it's a difficult conference, and I think South Carolina is a good example of it. You got to stand by a head coach you believe in. Shane Beamer's team, they only won 5 games a year ago, and look, they stuck by him, they stuck by these players, and now they're playing on senior day with a chance to win as many as 10 games in a season. And who knows, if they finish this one off and beat Clemson on the road next week and there's chaos elsewhere, they could be in the college football playoff.
Well, and to your point, Jay, in this day and age of the transfer portal, there's so much roster turnover. You need some kind of continuity. You need something to kind of be there all the time. So having a quick trigger and getting rid of the head coach, I just don't think that's the way to go. Hang in there and make sure you're getting a full body of work before you make a decision like that. And it's paid off sticking with Billy Napier. Couldn't be happier for him.
3rd and 6. South Carolina's defense has delivered today. Can they get another stop? No. Wofford. Great execution. Amari Odom finds Ricky Shaw for a first down. That's just their second 3rd down conversion of the game.
That's Amari Odom's throw of the night right here. He's getting flushed out of the pocket. Gonna run, but he keeps his eyes downfield and finds Shaw.
For the last time the Wofford offense took the field, it was 14-9. South Carolina scored right before halftime and then started the second half with the ball, and this game is broken wide open. Play action, Odom, high throw, tipped and nearly intercepted. O'Donnell Fortune had a good read on that ball.
And O'Donnell Fortune had that interception earlier that was negated because of the late hit by Brian Thomas. But O'Donnell Fortune, he is the prototype SEC cornerback. 6'1", 185, long. Great break on the ball.
Running it on 2nd and 10 with J.T. Smith Jr., the Charlotte, North Carolina native. South Carolina's defense failed to get off the field on the last 3rd down. Another opportunity here on a 3rd and 7.
Last time they blitzed and Odom was able to step up in the pocket.
Kyle Kennard in pursuit, forced the pressure, a sack, There's a flag down. Alex Huntley finished the job. Kyle Kennard got it started.
Penalty is declined. 4th down.
And it's another South Carolina sack.
And speaking of athletes, Dylan Stewart, number 6, the edge rusher, down the bottom of your screen. Look at him just accelerate to the quarterback. Gives no time for Odom to be able to set up back there. I mean, Dylan Stewart's one of those guys. He's 6'6", he's 248, but he could probably run full speed under a hurdle that's about 3 feet off the ground. He has that kind of bend. I mean, those defensive ends here in the SEC are just the absolute freaks of all freaks.
Ball back in the hands of this South Carolina offense. When we come back, they're up 28-9. Lead midway through the 3rd quarter. Time now for Random Fandom. You know, the SEC is known for some great tailgates. Well, meet the ultimate tailgaters. They've been doing this since 1994. For 30 years, they've gone to every South Carolina game, home and away, led by Chris Fulmer, who today is attending his 483rd straight Gamecock game. What an attendance streak that is. He's also an outstanding pit master, so couldn't think of anybody better to host a tailgate. Check out his party pregame. Yeah, he has won some big-time barbecue competitions all over the country. He loves competing as long as it doesn't prevent him from getting to a South Carolina football game.
Keep his priorities straight. Loves his Gamecocks.
He was telling me his ribs finished 4th in the world at a recent competition. But he's got to enjoy this streak that they're on. Won't enjoy this play, though. Lenora Sellers wrestled down Anthony Latany, the big nose tackle at 6'5", 310 pounds, sack, and a loss of 8.
And that's one where this shot clock has got to go off in his head. He was trying to find Nick Harbor streaking down, making his way to the middle of the field. After so long, that ball's got to come out, or here comes the sack.
Second and 18. Sellers pitches it. This is Rocket Sanders. Couple of broken tackles, hurdling his way near the first down marker. Needed 18. Got 17 and a half.
Tell you what, when things are going in the wrong direction, you're not playing well, just get the ball to Rocket Sanders. Just let him make a play. He'll get the yards and the momentum back for your football team. You can tell that's the mentality of Shane Beamer here. Let's, things are getting a little awry here. Let's get the ball to 5 here and let him calm us back down.
The 3rd and 1. And Sanders moves the chains. That's what Rocket Sanders does.
I mean, that is a big-time SEC running back. Big old thick chest, shoulders. He's got the arm sleeve on, the turf hanging out of his helmet. I love it. That's not a fun guy to have to tackle in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Sellers continues when the play breaks down to make something happen positively with his feet. That is his 12th carry of the game. Shane Beamer so happy with his young quarterback.
How about this stiff arm? Just boom. You're throwing Javis Minot down to the turf.
And if they can score a touchdown here, it might be Sellers' final drive of the game. Checks it down to Sanders, makes another man miss before he's taken down. This will be 3rd and 1 upcoming.
That's a 230-pound man, just a little hop scoot, breaking another tackle. He's one of those backs that you got to worry about him just flat running over you because he's so big and he's so powerful, but then he has the footwork on the perimeter to make you miss.
And that's now 11 straight completions for Lenoris Sellers, the longest streak of his career. In trouble here on a 3rd and 1, throws on the run, right on the money. It's caught by Nick Harbor. Make it 12 straight completions for Sellers and another South Carolina first down.
It's just so beautiful. Naked roll out to the right. He evades the defender. A little stutter step there, and then right in stride, hitting your tall wide receiver. That is just excellent. I mean, Dow Loggins has got to be just absolutely impressed. Look at this.
Sellers spins out of the sack, throws it away. That'll end the straight completion streak, but it's the right move because that would have been a sack and a loss of about 7. Instead, gets it away.
I'm telling you, as a guy who played defense his whole life, there's nothing more frustrating than when you got the quarterback dead to rights in the backfield. He just stays alive, and even if he has to throw the ball away, you can't sack him. It's just demoralizing.
To Sanders. Couldn't stiff arm his way free from that tackle. Javis Minat, the sophomore cornerback from Knoxville, Tennessee. Nice tackle to keep Sanders in check there.
And I think you're right, Jay. South Carolina wants to score here, and then after that, be able to put some other guys in the game here and get some more experience, more depth.
Sellers trying to pick up another first down, churning his legs, getting a push. How about the effort? They have not blown this play dead. Sellers, the heart, the hustle, gain a 10 on a South Carolina first down.
And these fans are just falling in love with Lenoris Sellers. Look at this. I mean, you gotta love it. Powerful. Just driving those legs back. And he is 6'3", 242, can move. And then the power, hard to bring him down to the turf. Becoming a real fan favorite. And look at that. I mean, he's got the sleeves are ripped off of both arms. One chin strap doesn't work. He's got a little turf in the side of the helmet, sweat dripping down. Guy's going to battle.
Attempting to make it 3 straight touchdown drives for this Gamecocks offense. Wide open, an easy throw. Gage Larvidan wide open, touchdown South Carolina.
Running hard play action all day long. You see all those gold helmets get sucked up to stop the run. Then Larvidan leaks out the back, and Lenoris Sellers with a nice pass.
Gage Larvidan played last year at Miami, Ohio, was part of that MAC championship team. First touchdown in a South Carolina uniform, and he's celebrating like the entire crowd here at Williams-Brice Stadium. The Gamecocks up big in the third.
In the third, and I have to tell you, I've been observing the South Carolina sideline pretty much all night, and there is a big energy shift. I don't think we saw Coach Beamer smile at all in the first 2 quarters, but he is all smiles after that last offensive drive. Players on their feet, high-fiving, jumping around right now. Rocky and Jay, they're feeling pretty good about the turnaround in the third.
Yeah, Nash, I think it was that last drive before the half when Lenoris Sellers takes him all the way down the field despite having to take that sack. They get the touchdown. That just allowed them to exhale a little bit, and then from there they have just kept the foot on the gas. And Shane Beamer's smiling for two reasons. One, they've been able to overcome a little adversity tonight, but number two is he knows he's got a really, really good quarterback in Lenore Sellers.
Wofford made this a 14-9 game, and since then Shane Beamer's offense has rattled off 21 unanswered, 3 straight touchdown drives. A nice job by Amari Odom just to get that pass off. Pressure was pounding in.
Kilgore was coming in off the nickel blitz there. I mean, and how about Jalen Kilgore, a 220-pound nickel? That's not something you see every day.
No, it is not. Just a sophomore.
He can move.
He's going to be playing football for a long, long time.
I mean, Coach Clayton White, the D coordinator, told us yesterday when they were recruiting him, and he was a guy that one of the best tacklers he had ever seen. Just open field, just has a knack. Some guys just have that knack for being able to bring guys down to the dirt. One of those guys is Jalen Kilgore.
Outside of 1 or 2 plays, this South Carolina defense has been just outstanding tonight.
Now with a lead, you can just tell you they're pinning their ears back and just coming.
Third and 11. South Carolina sends a blitz. Odom sends it up. And it was nearly intercepted. Dangerous ball into double coverage. Kilgore saying, I was going to intercept that, but DQ Smith flew in and actually broke it up.
He's like, DQ, come on, man. I had it on a pick. You got 2 guys converging on the ball like a missile. I'm going to get it. No, you get it.
Now we're number 47.
Friendly fire there, too.
Yeah. I think, what do you think? Kilgore's ball on that, right?
Yeah, but, you know, even as a defensive coach, you don't want to sit back and tell your guys, hey, that's his ball. You know, you want everybody converging and just hope it works out.
That bounces off South Carolina. The special team miscues continue, and it's going to be Wofford ball. Kyle Parsons, who executed the fake punt, now as a gunner on the punt team coverage, just reads that ball beautifully.
The receiving team recovered by the kickers. It's still a kick at that point, so the ball is dead, but it's 1st and 10.
Juju McDowell couldn't get out of a way. No, it was actually it wasn't McDowell. He was saying get out of the way. He was directing traffic. It was actually Peyton Williams who it bounced off of.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, a short kick like that, back, the deep guy's got to be yelling, Peter, 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 which means get away from it. Just literally run to the sideline, get away from that thing. Because when you don't, can hit off a leg, and that's a big play.
Now the 24-yard return by Parsons does not count because it's a dead ball right when he picks it up. Odom taking a shot. Sails over the head of Kyle Watkins.
And that's the right thing to do right there. Sudden change, get the ball. Why not? Throw a deep ball to your best wide receiver, Kyle Watkins.
I'm sure Parsons in Wofford was wishing that they'd have the ball at the 24-yard line right now.
Yeah, but I mean, go back to what you said, the special teams miscues from a family that believes in special teams the way the Beamers do. You know, gave up the fake punt earlier, almost gave up another fake punt for a touchdown, and right there hit a ball and give it back to Wofford.
And now Parsons running the ball. He's been everywhere for Wofford. Gain of 10 and a Terriers first down. It was going to be interesting to see if Lenora Sellers took the field on that drive, and now I guess that mystery continues because Wofford's offense stays on the field after the special team error. Throwing off the run again, Odom. Finds the tight end Jordan Davis. It's got to be frustrating for the South Carolina defense. You've done a great job all night. You get off the field again and then hold on a second, get right back out there.
I can tell you, I've been there. You come up with a real nice stop, come to the sideline, get a little water, want to catch your breath, and they're saying, defense back out. You're like, oh, could have happened now.
Odom fires a dart. It's caught. Kyle Watkins into the red zone right at the end of the third quarter.
Nice job on the RPO. Mari Odom rode that run fake down. Edge defender closed in on it and threw it right behind him on the slant.
We head to the fourth quarter in Columbia. Senior day for South Carolina. They're 15 minutes away from extending this win streak to 5 in a row. What's the biggest play from the first three quarters, Rocky?
I just think the response of Lenora Sellers taking that sack there right before the half and then getting back up. Had to use the timeout. They didn't want to, but still able to complete 3 passes and get them in the end zone.
Wofford taking a shot at the end zone there. Odom overthrew Kyle Watkins.
And if you think about it, Lenora Sellers has an opportunity to do something that you just don't see much in college football anymore, and that is be a kid that stays with a system, a good system, for 4 years. I mean, there's a difference between having experience and having experience in the same system. You know, some of these guys, they're on their 6th year, but they're on their 3rd school, and it's hard to get into the terminology and all the ins and outs of the offense. When you're with one system, with Dow Loggins for 4 years, boy, how high can you get?
And that's a real good system he's in.
That's exactly right. I think the world of Dow Loggins. I think he's one of the best play callers, certainly in the SEC, if not the country. And so that's a guy you want to stick with. And you hope Lenore's has the mindset to not start looking around here. Let's stay right here where things are going real well.
Loggins spent a lot of time in the National Football League. You have to think that Sellers will use that too as he prepares to try and get to the next level.
You can look around for this and that, but you got an OC that has NFL experience, college football experience, known to be one of the best around. I'd stick with that guy as long as I could.
3rd and 3. Odom in trouble. Breaks the sack, but then falls forward. It's a loss of 2 on the play. Brian Thomas Jr. shot in there on the 3rd down stop, and the Terriers will settle for a field goal attempt. Now stay on your toes because they faked a field goal and they faked a punt already in this game. Anything is possible for Sean Watson's team. This is a 28-yard attempt, and it's good. Devry Cagill, 2 for 2 for Wofford. South Carolina still in the driver's seat, though, under 13:30 to play. After the Wofford field goal, South Carolina was about to get the ball back, and right as they were about to do the kickoff, miscommunication from the officials. Shane Beamer confused.
Shane Beamer a little bit more at ease than he was about an hour and a half ago. Tell you what, he's ready to come unglued.
Communication was lost between the field and the television production truck. It's now been reestablished.
It's our
There's
fault.
No media break.
Yep.
We'll
Rocky.
execute the kickoff.
Have you not been paying the bills?
That's it. I'll take the blame. Yeah, we got to make sure we catch all this action here. Come on now.
Hold on a second. I feel like I've been thrown under the bus. So redo the kickoff here. Juju McDowell was ready to return it. Now it did look like Robbie Ashford was about to take the field, like you said, Rocky. So Lenora Sellers' day, very well done. Terrific outing for him. 22 of 25, 277 yards, 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing. McDowell spins out of a tackle, reversing fields. Finally, Wofford brings him down. That was a wild return from McDowell. Take another look.
He's got the jukes, right? Great in space. Break the top, come back across. Good job, Wofford. Staying in pursuit.
Number 88 is now wearing number 50 for South Carolina. 88 and 50.
And they'll keep Lenora Sellers in the game. So Ashford, who is warming up, the backup quarterback, had his helmet on and everything. And they stick with Sellers here in the 4th quarter. Dialing up, a deep shot. That pass is incomplete. Tried to find Nick Harbor.
One of the few miscues Lenora Sellers has had tonight.
Only his 4th incomplete pass. This is a curious decision because this game is in hand. You're in the 4th quarter. You got Clemson next week. Opportunity to get Robbie Ashford, and the game plan was to try and get some 2s and even some 3s in the game. The screen pass here. Oscar Attaway off to the races into Wofford territory. Finally taken down at the 40. A gain of 30.
In terms of the decision, part of it may be, look, you want to maybe keep your first-string quarterback in to be able to distribute the ball to more guys, right? As you start to try to get some more receivers and running backs in the game, get someone you know is going to be able to get him the football. Okay, now he takes his helmet off, and we'll see Robbie Ashford.
Ashford, quarterback keeper, and he's quite the athlete. He's was a baseball player and football player coming out of school. Actually was committed to Ole Miss to play both. Ended up at Oregon and then Auburn and now South Carolina. Robbie Ashford and I actually go way back, Rocky. My first event for ESPN.
This is a great story.
7 years ago at Hoover High School, Robbie Ashford was the quarterback. We were there to see George Pickens, who's now a wide receiver with the Steelers. He was a 5-star wide receiver for Hoover at the time.
So you're there to see George Pickens, and then
Ashford stole the show, yeah. And again, he was introduced to us as a really good baseball player, a guy that might get drafted out of high school to play baseball, ends up being a power 4 quarterback. He bounced around, but right now backing up Lenora Sellers and getting into the game here in the 4th quarter. Ashford showing off the wheels again into the red zone. So a drive that was started by Sellers now being finished by Robbie Ashford, the fifth-year senior. Sellers, by the way, over 300 yards for back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, good idea. Get Sellers out of the game, and you see the athleticism of Robbie Ashford. Feel good for him to be able to get in this game and play a little bit.
Ashford right back to the run. Now with this level of athleticism, I know it's late in the season, but you think about maybe a package for him, just running the football, gadget guy. But
yeah, or can you put him in the slot and throw him a bubble screen and let him go to work?
Yeah, that's exactly what South Carolina has done in spots this season. You know, he's got 37 carries on the year for 190 yards. Ashford keeps it again, untouched, into the end zone for a South Carolina touchdown.
And you just had the feeling that Robbie Ashford saying, you know what, it's my opportunity, this is my drive, I'm taking this thing in. About every play was a run where he kept the ball, punches it in.
So a drive that starts with Lenore Sellers passing over 300 yards for a second straight week, ends with a Robbie Ashford run for a touchdown as the backups have begun.
Fourth quarter, Gamecocks up by 30, and joining me now is former Gamecocks quarterback Spencer Rattler, also a rookie in the NFL with the Saints. What is it like to come back and support this team, especially with how they've been playing over the last month?
It's awesome to come back. You know, I had to take advantage of that during the bye week. Good to see them winning. You know, Lenore's playing at a high level. Everybody's doing their thing, so had to come catch it, you know, during the season before it's over.
All right, I saw you earlier tonight hanging out in the QB huddle. Were you giving the guys some advice or just taking it all in?
You know what? I just stepped back. I don't want to get in their way, but I mentioned a few things I saw out there. But they look great. Lenore's played well tonight.
Lenore has told me you're one of his close friends that he loves taking advice from, appreciates the positive and the criticism. So what advice have you been giving him this season?
Just play by play. You know, I stay in touch with him every week. I watch every game. He was so good when I was there last year, you know, just listening and learning. And I've been telling people I knew he was going to play like this. So anything he needs, you know, he's always got me.
And how impressed are you with his growth just over this year?
Very impressed. I mean, from game one to now, like I said, I knew he was capable of it. He's just playing at such a high level, and credit to him and the coaches as well.
And as we wrap up this interview, what is life in the league like for you?
It's awesome. You know, it's fun. Got to start a few games this year, but just love playing with my teammates. Love supporting them, and, you know, we're heading in the right direction.
All right, Spencer, appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
A great insight from Spencer Rattler, who spent 2 seasons as a starting quarterback here at South Carolina, and obviously last year was in the quarterback room with Lenore Sellers. And great insight there.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, you always love when a player comes back because they're so excited about this program and the relationship between Lenore Sellers and Spencer Rattler. You know, last year, as he described, he's the backup, but he's watching, always paying attention, taking advice, and now that he's the man out there, it's good to see Spencer Rattler come back here and still have interest in him.
That's a drop by Isaiah Scott. Sellers' night is done. Final stat line, 23 of 27, 307 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, this is obviously a conference with a lot of great quarterbacks, but man, he's at the top right now as this season gets into the end of November.
Odom.
Yeah, it's a flag.
It draws the defensive holding there. Shane Beamer, the penalties have really frustrated the Gamecocks head coach tonight.
I mean, it is just the absolute kryptonite of a coach. Stops momentum, stops drives. You know, you're making plays, and all of a sudden they got to come back. It's just the worst.
Pass interference, defense number 16. The penalty will place the ball at the spot of the foul and includes an automatic first down.
Now, by the way, that was a penalty Grandma could have seen from the top row. That should have come out. I mean, you watch down the bottom of your screen.
Correction.
Yep.
Yeah,
Penalty is 15 yards.
That's going to get called every day.
8th penalty called against Shane Beamer's team today. He'll be cleaning that up before they play Clemson next Saturday.
That's right. They'll watch this tape and find things they got to do better. That's what every good team does, even after a big win.
Odom in trouble. He's been on the run all day. His ability to get the pass off while being pressured and chased and off balance. J.T. Smith Jr. couldn't catch it, but
You know, which is what you have to do against this South Carolina defense. Big, athletic, fast. Not going to be able to sit back in that pocket.
how about the night games in the SEC? Vanderbilt, LSU, Texas A&M, Auburn, and Alabama, Oklahoma. We saw Alabama last week. I think they're playing as well as anybody in the country. You look at this South Carolina team and Alabama. I know there's a lot of really talented teams, but momentum, playing your best football at the right time of the season matters so much. And those are two teams, Alabama and South Carolina, that have done it in November.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, look, the difference between, you know, the best SEC team and the worst is very small. So it's all about, okay, yeah, we all got great players, but how are you playing when it counts this time of year? It's no good to just be blowing the doors off of people in September and then you kind of flop around as the season ends. You want to be going the other way. Be hitting that end of that season on the rise.
3rd and 3. Odom fires it low. That pass is incomplete, intended for Jordan Davis. And 4th down upcoming.
Wofford's going to punt this thing away. For South Carolina, I mean, you probably do got to still concern yourself with a fake here. They've had a couple tonight. No,
Actually, they're going for a field goal.
Okay, the ball got moved up a little bit. All right.
48-yard attempt. This would be a career long by 10 yards. Devery Cagill's career long is 38. I'd be on your toes for another fake. They've already done 2 tonight. Now Cagill's going to give it all he's got. And he's short and inaccurate. And South Carolina's special teams gets the stop. Defense did their job. Gamecocks up 30. The field this year. College Football Playoff Committee put out their top 12 this week. And I'll tell you what, Rocky, when you take a look at the committee, there's going to be a huge shakeup Tuesday. Indiana going down, Ole Miss going down, 2 Big 12 teams in trouble, BYU and Colorado both losing late in the 4th quarter. So I'm curious, your thoughts is that pass is incomplete. What's your take right now as we're getting into late November here?
I mean, my initial thought is, I mean, does this put Indiana out of the college football playoff? I mean, taking that bad of a loss, you know, with their, I mean, their record is what it is. It's been fantastic, but the schedule hasn't been great.
And that's Ole Miss's 3rd loss of the season. That probably puts them out.
I can't see, other than an SEC team that enters the championship game with 2 losses, they lose that game. I can see a 3-loss SEC team getting in that way, but not the other way.
Well, hold on a second, because that won't make South Carolina fans happy, because they're a 3-loss team, and I think 3-loss teams should not be all viewed as equal. It's when you lost. I mean, they lost early in the
who
season.
you're losing to, yeah.
They've got a chance to finish this season on a 6-game win streak. I think how you're playing at the time should matter.
Yeah, and if you're Ole Miss and you lose here in late November.
Vandrevius Jacobs is the injured player for South Carolina. He's getting attended to by the Gamecocks medical staff. Even quarterback Robbie Ashford going over to talk to Jacobs. The freshman from Fort Pierce, Florida, transferred in from Florida State as a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, just look, he got that left leg twisted up.
Just one more point on the playoff as Jacobs gets attended to, Rocky. The Big 12, I know a lot of people are focused on the SEC watching this broadcast. The Big 12 is in trouble. If you're a Power 4 conference, you are not guaranteed a conference champion in. It's the top 5 ranked conference champions. It's very possible with BYU and Colorado going down today that they might not have a ranked conference champion that is higher than Boise State and the winner of Army-Tulane.
That's right. I mean, an Army could go a long way to be in that conversation with that game against the Irish tonight.
If they win that game, they could be looking at a bye. I mean, think about that. If they beat top 10 Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium and then beat Tulane and go undefeated, and look, I know you're a Notre Dame guy and will be rooting for the Irish, but I think it'd be great for the sport to have a service academy like Army in the college football playoff. It'd be fantastic.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why people have been craving for the 12-team playoff. Let's get some different blood in this thing. So, yeah.
And Jacobs walking off the field gingerly with help. And the Gamecocks offense will head back out for this 3rd and 5. Now, South Carolina fans, you've got to root that you beat Clemson. It would help if you put it on Clemson, and that's a convincing win. And then you got to hope for chaos elsewhere. But there is a chance. You number 18 in the country, certainly right on the outside looking in. And crazier things have happened. And Shane Beamer had a great message to us yesterday. He said, we just have to apply pressure. If we keep winning, we're going to apply pressure to the committee to put us in. The flag comes out here. And Shane Beamer's also got another message, which is we can't determine where they put us. If they put us in the playoff, fantastic. If they give us a great bowl game, terrific. Like, we just got to keep taking care of business, and that is exactly what they've done over the last 5 weeks. It started in Norman, Oklahoma, a big convincing win, 35-9, and then A&M, they blasted here at home, 44-20. Went to Vanderbilt and won 28-7, a thriller against Missouri last week, and now they've handled their business against Wofford.
I mean, that's every coach's message, right? Focus on the things you can control. Can't control where a committee member might rank you. Can't control exactly what bowl you're going to get, but you can control coming out here and just riding this momentum, keep playing great football. And that's the message to his team.
Big run here. Jawarn Howell, the young running back, stays on his feet and scores.
And Jawarn Howell, Jay, that's, you know, he's the future. As Rocky Sanders is going to move on here, they need somebody to step up and take over that RB1 role, and they are very excited about Jawarn Howell. You know, Coach Beamer was really raving about him, about Matthew Fuller yesterday. A couple young guys that have a chance to be the bell cow running backs here come next year.
Now, you would never know this game was 14-9 with 1:48 left in the second quarter. South Carolina has poured it on here in the second half. And we were going through those last 4 wins before this one. This will mark 5 in a row for Shane Beamer's team. And you know, that defense set the tone against Oklahoma, and they have not looked back. 4 straight SEC wins coming into today. The last 3 of those against AP top 25 teams. And you know, Rocket Sanders in these games, you pick one play where this game changed, it's all Sanders.
I mean, and we discussed it earlier, as things happen and as, you know, there's a bad play, or you know, the consistent thing on this football team is Rocket Sanders. Get him the ball. He's going to make big plays in critical moments. That was for the game winner last week against Missouri. He's just a calming presence. He's electric with the football. And just, I mean, he's going to go down as one of the better SEC running backs in a while.
And while South Carolina will move on to play Clemson next week, this is their final home game. For Wofford, this is their final game of the season. You know, a Terriers team that'll fall to 5-7. They're rebuilding this thing under second-year head coach Sean Watson. Cool thing that they do is a lap around Gibbs Stadium on the Thursday night before their final game. So this was the last lap the other night.
Yeah, it's always cool, especially for the seniors. You know, a field where they've spent a lot of time. Try to remember that and have some good memories.
And Brian Thomas Jr. with a tackle for loss of 6 there. Did you have any senior traditions at Notre Dame?
No, nothing really, nothing like that. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking
things were a little tense my senior year.
Yeah, true. I was told before the season to never bring up your senior year at Notre Dame. My apologies.
It was a little tough. We had a great junior year. Senior year did not work out how we wanted, really, for anybody, but still a special place.
I think you remember that lap almost more than the games themselves. The games might blur over the course of a long season, but you remember that final time with your brothers walking around the field or taking the field. And you know, for Ashley, these South Carolina seniors, this is their final game at Williams-Brice Stadium.
Yeah, and Coach Beamer got a little emotional when talking about this group. He said, every year we've had a senior class, it's been special, but for a number of these guys, they're the guys that chose to stay with me from the minute I got hired, when they were wondering who I was and what this program was going to be in this new era with me, to then staying. He said, okay, we won 7 games, then 8 games, but last year we lost 5 games, and they still decided to stay here and try and do something special. He said, that's what we talked about in January. We want to come back. We know what we're capable of. And those seniors decided to stay and ride it out with him, and look at what the last month has been. He also said he's grateful for the guys that transferred here and chose to play out their final year here and choose to make an impact and be a part of this team this year as well. But truly emotional. Rocky J, you know, when we had a chance to talk with Coach this week, he just kept saying, I'm so grateful for what they've done for me.
Yeah, and Ashley, in the day and age of the transfer portal, when guys are leaving left and right, to be able to keep this very talented roster of seniors together is a real credit to Shane Beamer.
Yeah, and I think there's a special place for any head coach when you take a new job, your first full class.
You always remember that first class. Yeah, that's Shane Beamer, all smiles right now. Look at that. I mean, that's good company he's in right now. I mean, Steve Spurrier is a god around this place. He's right in that same conversation.
Well, think about it. That is a testament to the senior class. The guys he brought in as his first full class, spent those 4 years with them building this thing, and to be able to tie Steve Spurrier's win total, that is a meaningful moment for Beamer, his staff, and these seniors.
It's a two-way street. You got to have the players believe in you. You got to believe in the players, and they've been able to do that.
And he'll have a chance to break Spurrier's record there with a win at Clemson. What a moment that would be. You always want to beat your rival, with Mark 9 wins in a regular season.
I mean, South Carolina was one of those teams at the beginning of the year, just not a lot of people were really talking about. It's like, okay, Ole Miss and the Portal King, and Jackson Dart, and of course Alabama and Jalen Milroe coming back. But it's been South Carolina that has really emerged here late in the season when it matters.
And I think Ashley made a great point there, that to have this season off the back of a 5-win season, where you're right, in the transfer portal era, guys could have blew out of town. They all decided to double down on the commitment they made to Shane Beamer when he first got the job and part of that first recruiting class. Obviously, they've had impact transfers come in, like a Rocket Sanders, and those seniors should be celebrated.
I mean, that's the key to the portal. Keep your guys, but get some guys from other programs to come to you. And you can balance that. That's when you got to figure it out.
He joked if we could get 10 Demetrius Knights and Rocket Sanders every year, we'd be competing for SEC championships,
that's
national championships.
Yeah, is nailing those transfer portal guys. I still don't think you can just live in the portal and be flipping your roster every year, but you can bring in those key guys, and they got to be big-time impact players. That's the way to do it. Those are the teams that have success.
Davis Bevel into the game at quarterback. He's one of the 36 seniors taking the field for the final time here in Columbia. A 6th-year senior, South Carolina native. A big run there from Dunn, and a flag comes in after it.
After the play was over, unnecessary roughness, 18 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the succeeding spot, automatic first down.
And by all accounts, looks like Shane Beamer's team is going to get out of this game healthy, which is big going into next week, and they're going to hope to get a couple of their big tight ends back, especially Joshua Simon. And he is the go-to guy. Didn't see him tonight.
Bevel checks it down. Safety valve there. It's done. Back-to-back first downs for Dunn. They could tick this down to the 2-minute timeout. Shane Beamer's team going to go to 8-3, 5 straight wins, playing their best football of the season when it matters most, and that's a testament to the coaching job that they've done. They were 3-3 after 6 games, and they've really turned this thing around.
And look, and I know Shane Beamer would have loved to come out tonight and right from the very beginning just absolutely lay the hammer down and play perfect football. But there's something to be said about a team that has to, has some miscues, but has the ability to battle back.
2-minute timeout.
Dunn actually lost the ball there, but recovered by South Carolina. 2-minute timeout. We'll step aside. Gamecocks well in control, 49-12.
It's the same play you scored on in that flag football game.
The one that we threw the touchdown pass to Mike Smith? Oh,
That's a young Beamer right here.
that's a young one. My biggest critic.
That might be the best moment of the entire college football season.
Just encapsulated it all, right? They got Beamer with his young son who plays and getting the inspiration from Mike Smith for the play to a great game with Missouri.
Asked Coach Beamer about that moment and just what it means to share so many of these moments with his 11-year-old son Hunter, and he says, I'm just so grateful to have those moments. I have to dedicate so much of my time to this job. I'm not always available to be there, but he did share that when he can on Saturday mornings, that's when his son plays flag football. He says, I'll sneak out, I'll get to part of the game, try to take it all in and enjoy it. And of course, you know, it's kind of a Beamer family tradition because he had these same type of moments on the sideline with his dad, Frank.
That's right. Football is the family business for the Beamers.
Yeah, the next generation getting a taste on the sideline. You see the emotion at the end of that clip from Shane Beamer. How powerful is that to share with your son?
Oh my God! And look, these coaches, you know, are working 16-plus-hour days, and they don't get to see their family. They miss out on so much. So you get an opportunity to be on the sideline with your son, at least have him around this program, and it's just a wonderful luxury for Shane Beamer, and I'm glad he makes the effort to get that in.
Bevel gonna keep it himself. A hurdle for the sixth-year senior on senior night.
But this little athleticism, gonna jump open. Sometimes don't quite work out, but love the effort.
Bevel taken down inbounds. One last thing on the Beamer thing with his son. Rocky, I know you got three boys that love the game of football and just that special bond. And you know, it's tough. You can't be at every practice and every game, and Shane Beamer certainly misses a lot, but when you can get those moments that we just saw, it's so special.
You got to get them in when you can. And also, look, it's got to be special for how many young kids get to be on the sideline of an environment like this and watch their dad go to work. Special.
Touchdown with 9 seconds left, and that score significant to some.
I see what you did right there.
A 43-point lead for South Carolina. You could see, man, we might see that on Bad Beats with Scott Van Pelt.
He might make an appearance
in a couple of days.
Good job here fighting, scratch, and claw and getting the end zone. Always good to score touchdowns. Look at that. South Carolina players loving it. You know, getting a guy that doesn't get to score much, getting in the end zone, that's great.
One more sandstorm here in 2024. Even some players whipping the towel. As South Carolina says goodbye to Williams-Brice Stadium for the season. At Clemson next week, and then on to the postseason. What will that be? Who knows? Gamecocks have a chance to work their way into the 12-team playoff if there's chaos in front of them. But I think they're strongly positioned, Rocky, at 18 and Clemson being at 17.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're part of the conversation. You got to let it all play out. And, of course, they had some upsets today that could factor in.
And again, this game was 14-9 in the second quarter, a minute 48 to go. That 2-minute drive right at the end of the first half really set the tone for South Carolina. They have not looked back. You saw that sign. Beat Clemson 9 seconds away from 100% focus on the Tigers for the next week.
That's what it's all about from this point on, beating Clemson. Shane Beamer, as unhappy as he was with the first quarter of this game, he is very proud of how his team played, really from, as you mentioned, that drive right before half until now.
And South Carolina improves to 8-3, and with that win, Shane Beamer ties Steve Spurrier for the winningest head coach in the first 4 years here at South Carolina. That is Gamecock royalty, and a chance to break that record for most wins in the first 4 seasons next week at Clemson. For Rocky Boyman, Ashley Stroline, our terrific crew behind the scenes, I'm Jay Alford saying so long from Columbia, South Carolina.